Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeff White, Jeff White Fitness Solutions. Thanks for checking out this video today. And today, I want to talk about the BRICS nations and how they will have a direct impact on the U.S. economy. Now, as normal, I'm going to talk about things that are not discussed in mainstream media and just aren't discussed by the average person. But take a look at this picture. Now, I saw this article yesterday, and I just wanted to talk about it briefly. And it says more than 30 countries have applied to BRICS. Now, it's not just the fact that it's 30 countries that have applied to BRICS, it's what they do. Many of these countries, they export products. They produce things. And this is important because the US doesn't really produce as much. We import the majority of the items that we use in our country. So if you look around your home, you will see that many of the products that you have come from other countries like China, come from Thailand, other places. Even a lot of our food is imported from other countries. So this is something that the US needs to worry about because these BRICS nations, they want to move away from the dollar. So I'm going to talk about that in just a second too. But I would really like to know what you guys think about this. Have you heard about all these countries that are moving away from the US and the West? People are not talking about that. We hear about the G7, which is the seven nations that are pretty much, affiliated with the US. But when you look at all these other countries that are moving away from the dollar, this is a big problem for everyone in the West. Talking about the US, Canada, and Europe. So we need to watch this story very carefully. Okay, everyone. So it took me literally 3 minutes to find these headlines. 3 minutes. And these are all pretty much from 2023. Now, I want you to just take a look at this. Now, if you just look at one of these headlines and say, oh, that's no big deal, then look at another, oh, that's no big deal. So they're moving away from the dollar. That doesn't mean anything. The dollar's still number one. The problem is when you look at the big picture and look at collectively how so many countries are starting to use their own currency and do not use the dollar like they did before, then you can see how big of a problem this really is. When you have all these countries talking about using their own currency and not the dollar, that adds up to billions and billions and billions of trades and transactions that will not occur in US dollars that will have a direct impact on the dollar's value and Americans' standard of living. It all comes back to supply and demand. If the demand is not there for the US dollar, then its purchasing power will decrease because no one wants it. If that happens, we will see inflation increase. Now, take into account how we have this huge budget deficit problem in the United States, and that also gives these countries incentive to move away from the dollar. So these stories are not discussed, but this is going to affect your everyday life. Now, we already see inflation going up, and they haven't even really implemented this aspect of the BRICS nations' plans yet. What happens when these countries really start to move away from the dollar? What do you think is going to happen to the price of all these goods and services that we use? They're going to increase even more. So it's very important that people look at this and not blow it off because as more and more countries move into the BRICS nations, they will start to use that new standard. And that new standard means the US economy and the US dollar is in serious, serious trouble. Okay, so now I have to throw this story in here because it may seem unrelated to you, but to me, this just adds fuel to the fire. Now, just take a look at this story, and this is from a retailer here in America, and it says everything you need to know. And it says they are creating merchandise on a controversial subject for children. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I am 10,000% against this. I am 10,000% against this. I am totally opposed to them targeting children with this type of message. You can agree, you can disagree, and to be honest with you, I really don't care. I don't agree with it. You may feel it's okay for you, but I don't feel it's okay for me, and I don't have to accept it. Period. So if I feel this way, now this is where the big picture comes in. If I feel this way, if I feel this is destroying children, in my opinion, and it's destroying families, and it goes against biblical standards, if I feel this way, you can imagine there are many other countries that feel the same way. You cannot force this on me and expect me to just sit back and say, oh, okay, that's just the way the world is going. I'm not going in that direction. You can go, and if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine, but don't expect me to just ride along with you. I'm not doing it. Other countries feel the exact same way, which is another reason, another validation for them to get away from Western values and the US dollar. People got to look at the big picture. They don't like many of the things America's done in the past. And I'm talking about with some of these three-letter political and secret and undercover and military type organizations. They don't like that. And I can promise you they do not like this here. So we're just giving them more reason to get away from the US and the US dollar. And I just got this off their website. They are targeting young people with this, young people who have no idea what any of this is. And quite frankly, they don't need to know what any of this is. So, again, people, I look at the big picture and I connect dots. And these are some ugly dots that I don't want to connect. But I'm telling you, other people looking at this and like, the West is going crazy. We got to get away from these lunatics. Okay, guys, so you know me. I don't like to just talk about the problem and complain about it and dwell about it. We need to work on solutions. And from what I can see, from every angle I look at this, no matter which direction you look at, a storm is coming and it is going to be bad because countries are moving away from the US dollar and we keep giving them reasons to move away. Whether it's what I showed you in the previous slide, whether it's we implement sanctions on different countries, we give them more and more reason to step away from the US dollar and the US way of life. So basically, we can expect inflation to begin to get higher and higher and higher from here. It is not going to get any better. Things are not going to get easier for us. And we have to accept that because, again, there will be less and less demand for US dollars. So that means while you still have the opportunity to buy assets, buy real items that you need and use now. I told you in a couple videos ago that um, I wear glasses and I bought an extra pair of glasses. My son wears glasses. We got him an extra pair of glasses. I got him some clothing in slightly bigger sizes, some shoes and underwear, things like that. Because I know one day there's a chance those things will get a lot more expensive or we may not be able to get them. And I didn't even talk about this potential war with China. If we go to war with China, do you really think they will continue to export goods to us? I don't know. I'm not willing to wait to find out. So now's the time to use your money wisely and buy things that you need and use on a daily basis. And that includes things like food, water, energy, and security, and whatever else you need. If you have a car, do you need to get maybe some spare parts? Do you need to, get some gas cans and stock up on gas? What do you need? I can't answer that for you, but you need to do something. You need to do something. One thing that you could do that is totally slightly off topic is buy some little thumb drives and start downloading some of your favorite music or TV or whatever that you have that you watch on the internet. So in case there's a power outage or any type of internet disruption, you have things backed up. There's little things that you want to start thinking about now that you may not be able to get later. And I said it once, I'll say it again. A lot of countries do not like the direction the US is headed. And I'm sick of it. My son is 11. What do I need to try to explain to him about that situation that I showed you in the previous slide? He don't need to know all that. He don't need to be even thinking about something like that right now. He's a kid. To put that in their face and try to get them to go in that direction, even subliminally, I am 100% against, and many countries are too. And they are sick of what we are trying to push down people's throats. They're not having it, they're moving away from us. And I'm going to be honest with you, where's the uproar? Where are people who are just as angry about this as I am? I don't see many people. I don't see many people talking about this like they should. I don't see the churches up in arms about this. They sound like they be going right along with it. We are at war on many different fronts, and too many people are quiet, and I just don't understand it. Are you that asleep? Are you just sleepwalking and just willing to go along with it? This is why they call people sheep. This is why, because no one is standing up. And if people are standing up, they're not being heard. They're not being listened to. They're being ignored, or they're being called conspiracy theorists. Well, I've been talking about this stuff for years now on different levels, and it's like it's getting worse and worse and worse. And you got some people who are paying attention, but we need the majority of people. We don't need a couple percentage. We need 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% of the people saying, hey, wait a minute, this isn't right. We need to step up and do something about this before it's too late. And we are this close from being too late. So let me know what you guys think. The world is changing right before our very eyes, and so many people are just, I don't know. I really can't put my finger on it, but it seems like people are being either deceived or they're so heavily distracted that they just don't understand exactly the danger we are in as a society. So anyway, guys, just my thoughts. Again, look at the big picture and start connecting the dots because something is going on, something very sinister, something very bad, and we need to wake up and do something about it before it's too late. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.